Welcome to the Main Stage Cast, a podcast about all things competitive Call of Duty, hosted by me, Nate Burleson, alongside Alex Friel. Now, he doesn't look the same today if you're watching on video. That's actually a picture of
comb my hair.
Of Killa the Ripper. That's what we're calling it.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's a picture of someone else. But anyways, like he's having internet issues. You know, he can't be on the video call. We tried
They
it.
finna fix that shit on Friday though. It's a Wednesday today.
Yep.
Yeah.
We only got 48
To give
hours.
you a timeline of things since we last had a conversation about Call of Duty esports. It's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we talked was prior to the Stage 2 major, which congrats to the Ultra. We tried recording a podcast last week, but internet issues were just like annoying as hell. So,
Yeah, no,
but
the internet
it's fine
was
because
us.
more information has come out. You know, we got more things to talk about. So why like drag out 2 episodes when we've got a bunch of info that we could just put in one? But the Verdansk just got nuked, so
Yep.
you know, it's a good day for Call of Duty today. You know, we got I think
Very
tomorrow
weird, yeah.
the fucking whatever home series it is starts.
The Los Angeles Guerrillas home series, who we will talk about today.
I
We do
swear
have to
they
talk
had
about
theirs
roster
already.
changes.
Is that true?
I thought it was, man. Maybe it's not.
No, hold on, no, it's not. I
Nope.
think it's Paris, right?
Nope, it's the London home series.
London.
Yeah, LAGA played last stage, didn't they? Yeah, they played last
Right,
stage.
so let's see.
That
We
was
got
like- that was
London
definitely
and then
last stage.
Paris after, and then Dallas. All right, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll dive into a few of those matches. We'll talk about some things we're excited for, but you know, roster mania. It feels like the kind of first big roster mania we had like during a season, right? Because like last year, you know, roster mania was like different last year, obviously because it's just like it's just changed and
Right, a brand
last
new
year
league.
it's kind of like a different pace, but like I don't know what it was, but Stage 2, bro, people were just like, fuck it, man, like. You know, we gotta change things. So
Well, they reached over the halfway point in the season. Like at this point, like if your team isn't legit and you're not in the conversation to be at champs, you have to make a change because you can't just sit in your own team that's been having bad results for a few days or a few weeks. I mean, you can't have a team that's been having that bad of results like look to go forward because essentially right now, like if you're in that like 9 to 12 range, like you need to win. You need to go positive and like winning in your group. This next stage, and you probably need to play. You need to place within the money at the tournament, or else you're probably gonna have a really long road to the next.
Before we go into roster changes, I would also like to say that last night Cold War received an update.
Oh god!
That removed slide canceling and nerfed the SMG speed grip.
Do you think people just find a new way? People just find a new way to crack the game to get the movement better. They will, right?
They'll figure it out eventually, I hope. But I mean, you can't do what we were doing prior, and so it's like, you know, how does that affect like SMGs, like all those nerves and shit? So Lord knows what the game's about to look like in the next stage, and it's like, do we think they'll play on this new patch or like?
Definitely not this week at least. Maybe next week.
I feel like don't they stick with it for like the whole stage? Like they don't switch up
That's true.
at RGs during this stage. So like that was kind of confusing when they announced they were like doing standoff like mid-season. It's like the timing of it all just feels so bad.
When is the actual COD season? Like the actual games season? When does it start?
Today.
Today's the start of it all. Okay. That makes sense with the Warzone event and all that. But okay, yeah. I mean,
I don't know if the Battle Pass came out yet or not. I have no clue. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
I was trying to figure that out, but I really couldn't get on the game. You know, it's like I just wanna know for sure. Like, is the slide canceling like, you know, is it that bad? But the server's pretty chalked right now, so fuck it.
The servers are screwed right now. So I mean, this is like 2:30 Central Time on a Wednesday, and Nick Merckx has like 400,000 people watching, and he can't even get to the end of a game before he lags out.
Yeah, it's just such a bad look.
There's
for
problems,
Activision.
man. Like they're kind of like they're fumbling their own bag a little bit here.
Bro, and you know what? All right, you know what? Let's focus up on. You know, we don't want to talk. You know, because we're just gonna like.
Right. We'll start talking about. We'll start talking about Activision.
We can fucking
have a whole new podcast.
At the end of the game, bro. At the end of the game, we should just do like a tell-all, like describe how we felt at like every stage of the game, because you know it's been an emotional roller coaster with this game. You know,
it's been a weird.
Sometimes you're like fuck it, you know, they're gonna add content, like I swear, like it's gonna be good, and then they just don't.
And we're still 6 months away from the next game, right? So we're only about halfway through the whole cycle.
You know what?
And we don't know what the hell is gonna happen with that next game.
No, because they've had less time to do the next game than Treyarch had. This game, and this game came out with like 6 maps.
I think the next game is going to be like a disaster. I actually even heard something.
Yeah,
like,
honestly,
there was a
like,
chance because like, what if there was like a chance that there's no Warzone like integration with it because they've been so rushed on
that is okay. So what I find really weird is they're adding the PPSH, right?
Right.
But then, like, are they gonna put that in World War II too? Like.
But yeah,
like,
I mean, we don't even really know
with the
like
MP5 and have like a different like iteration of it, like. Because, but like, think about it. Like, business-wise, obviously, with the future, like, the Warzone integration's, like, obviously the most important part.
Obviously. Well, you still need to have a full game, too, before you can have...
Yeah, like, so, but, like, that's kind of weird, because it's, like, I feel like they're just kind of putting themselves in a really bad position to make a new game. Like,
probably. I mean, I'm sure they...
Like, where the new game's gonna suck, but, like, I mean, Cold War still did, like, amazing sales numbers, though.
Right. Yeah, it did good sales, and, I mean, like, maybe this next game will be, like, the game, too, that, like... It might not even be this next game, but like down the line, like the games are going to be made like for the next generation of consoles to like really like kind of like be that like the first game that's like essentially exclusive for the next generation of consoles is going to be like when all that first starts. What was the first game that you couldn't buy on the 360 and PS3? Do you know what game it was?
You know what? Anyone that couldn't play like a PlayStation exclusive probably wasn't that sad about it. Speaking as someone who had a PlayStation starting with PS4, if you're on Xbox, you literally did not miss out on anything. Xbox is dominant. That's all I gotta say about that. But
we don't have to get into. We don't have to make a console wars thing out of this episode. But I mean, we just
no, but like, I mean,
it's
like, dude, like, Xbox has Halo. Like, all right, like, what's an equivalent to that? Like a single player game on PlayStation? Like, who gives a shit? You literally just watch a YouTuber play it, dude. The fuck?
You don't
This was that Spider-Man game. I literally bought a PS4 for that. I'm not gonna lie.
That was a good game.
Actually, a hypocrite. But so I'm still trying to figure out how to get on these servers. So it's not working just terrible. But roster changes. I honestly have like negative opinions about most of these.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's start with one then. Let's start with Florida.
We're starting with Select Out for Havoc, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think. Like, alright, so they may be similar in skill, but I don't think Havoc brings more to the table than Slack does.
Yeah, no, I don't know if Havoc can really, like, what you could really bring to the table that Slack didn't bring. I mean, Slack had some bad games. He had some .67, some .7 KD games, like series that were, like, maybe if he had played better, they would have had a chance to win, but at the same time, like, I feel like when you're Florida in the spot, like, you just felt like you needed to make some kind of change, and apparently they were doing amazing in scrims for like the entire time. Like the entire time they were together, they were doing amazing in scrims, and they get to the game and like nothing would pan out. So I don't know. Maybe Havoc just bringing in a fresh face, bringing in some like a fresh voice can change things for Florida. But like if you were to say that they were like one player away, like I wouldn't think that like Havoc would be the player that could immediately like push them over the edge. Like how we've seen Standy do it, and like how we've seen like
I don't know. I just think it's a weird move. Like I feel like when you figure out something's not working and like you know can a guy like Slasher, like he's never gonna be on the LAT roster again, right? Like
probably not.
I felt like that was kind of
like
Like I assumed that's how it would be with Havoc.
I don't know. I mean, some teams are different, right? Like Florida maybe like apparently they tried out Decimate, they tried out like John. Probably they might have tried out John. I don't know if they did. I know they tried out Decimate. You know, there's a ton of talented players and challengers that you can go after that you could throw new money at, or you know you could just take, you know, maybe we just need a little bit of a change. Maybe we don't need anything drastic. We can just pick someone up who's in the family. They don't have to change the video that we made that has shows.
True, they have been showing Havoc
and doesn't show Neptune. So I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe it just seemed like the most easy and like obvious choice that they can make. And like, I mean, I'm excited to watch him play though. Like, I'm excited to see if it works because it's not like Havoc is a bad player.
And Slack's a hard worker. Like, he'll be fine. You know, he found a team or whatever already. So like, whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I think the biggest thing is like they have a tough weekend. They play Ultra and then they play Rocker. Right. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's not an easy weekend.
And the thing is too, like adding Havoc like still doesn't make me feel like they're better than like most of the team. Like they placed outside the money, so like I kind of feel like they're still like outside the money even with this new addition.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're probably out of the money, but then again, out of like all the teams that are kind of near the bottom, like what are the bottom four teams right now? No order in particular: Paris, Florida, LAG and no, not Surge, in London, right? And then Surge might be ahead of them, or Florida's ahead of them. I gotta look at the standings again. Like, honestly, that's the one thing. It's like I just need to look at the standings again. But like,
hold on, I gotta go run and grab my mom something really quick. I'll be right back.
All right, go for it. But I mean, I can carry the show for now. Well, no, like essentially, like I think what Alex and I are talking about is that we are talking about how like Florida is a pretty good team. They just haven't been able to put anything together when it actually comes to real matches, right? Like, what have we really seen them do this year that was like very exceptional? I don't really know if there's anything, right? Like, this is a roster though with a lot of talent. Skies last year was one of the top ARs. Awakening was one of the top new players. He's still great now. He can kind of do that one. He's kind of one of those players that can do both the AR role and the sub role. And he can kind of just continue things going on with there. Like, I feel like when I'm looking at Florida, like the things that could really change for them would just be like maybe a little bit more consistency in the slaying department. You know, maybe a player who can kind of step up, and you don't even really need a player who can step up and like kind of take control of the entire game by themselves, because I don't really think many of those players exist like that in Call of Duty right now. But one of the players that like definitely I think looks up to like who definitely has like probably like a pretty solid floor is Havoc. Like, Havoc is a player who like they're not really taking much of a gamble on. Like, they're not putting out extra resources for him. They're not doing anything like that, right? They're just trying to build a better roster than they had last week. They just need to get a little bit better. They need to get into the points. They need to get into the money at these tournaments. And here, let me pull up the 2021 season group stage. So Florida plays Toronto tomorrow, and then they play Minnesota, and then the next week they only have one game against Paris. So I mean, from between now and May 7th, they're only going to play 3 matches. So that's the one thing about this schedule, is that the schedule is actually like completely brutal, right? Like, the schedule is like, it's not brutal in that other way where it's like too much going on, you're playing too many games, your thumbs are falling apart. It's worse because you play one match and then you just kind of have to sit on it. You have to sit with it in your head for like a week or 2 weeks before you can really bounce back and actually prove yourself again against a new match, which is why this format, I think, has led to so many roster changes. So many roster changes, like, in a least amount of games. Because when you get to play like a whole tournament with someone and like you kind of do figure it out. Like, is this going to work? No, it's not going to work, right? Like, you play a few weekends with a team where you're playing like a ton of games. You essentially figure out at one point, like, our team is not going to be... we're not a change away from being the number one team. Florida isn't that team either, so I mean we'll see how that goes. But like, I don't know, when I'm just like overlooking this calendar and this the schedule, like I see some pretty good matchups this weekend. Like, I see some pretty important matches. I think Toronto, like, bouncing back could be interesting, but I'm gonna pause this thing. I'll wait till Alex gets back, and we'll get deeper into the schedule.
All right. My final verdict on select out for Havoc. L move by Florida.
It's an L move. I kind of agree.
Hey, but if you gotta think of your Paris. You made a W move when you dropped Fire and swapped them out for Temp.
Now, this was one I think was like that makes a lot more sense, and it's probably the best like move you can say, like, in term from not actually seeing any of the results of what's happened. You can probably say this is the best move. I mean,
like, the vibes are gonna be right. You know that Temp is gonna make Classic play better. Like, Temp knows the game. Temp's better than Fire, right?
Yeah, I
mean, the game better. It's gonna be better vibes. Like, I think that team will work out. Temp's played with Aqua before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think he's played with Scraps, but like, Scraps a pretty funny guy. Fuck it.
Right,
dude, him and Donnie. Could you imagine them in like a team speak together?
Well, no, I just feel like Paris was gonna make a roster change. I was surprised they made a roster change because honestly, I thought they were too broke to make a roster change. But obviously, they have some money somewhere and they're willing to spend it. So Temp, I think, makes the team immediately like. I think he makes them immediately better, or at least raises their floor to a certain amount. That's the thing, right? He raises their floor. I'm not sure if he raises their ceiling.
Like, even prior, like, I feel like they're a team that like shouldn't be out of the money, but like they end up out of the money, right? Like,
right.
You want to think that they'll play better, but like they just have like hard competition and they just haven't pulled it out yet. But I think that like Temp could like make them like actually see improvement.
No, I mean, like, they're a team that like right now they have a pretty high. Before this, they had a pretty high ceiling, but like they also had times where they looked like the worst team in the league. You know, like they had times where like they looked really bad, and then times where they looked like top 4, top 5. I don't think with Temp that they'll look that bad. You know what I mean? Like he won't come out with like some bad performances, because when you have Fire, like Fire's a rookie, right? Like Fire is gonna have some good maps, and he did, but he's also gonna have some really bad maps. You know, he's gonna have some like 0.5, like 0.6s, like just doing nothing for the team, really like losing every gunfight. Like that happens, and like you can give a player some kind of forgiveness for it normally, but right now, like I think it was harsh that he had to get cut. You know, that he had to get completely
No, he went on the flank and talked about it. He said that because you can only have 2 substitutes from CDL teams on the same challengers team. So he didn't want to put himself in a position where he couldn't play with like the best players because he's a substitute as well as them.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
he didn't think that he was gonna be running back with Paris. So
okay, well that makes sense. But anyways, like I think it's like. It's harsh that I'm saying that like he's not on a team anymore. You know what I mean? Like when a player gets benched, it's something else. But like at this point, like he has no contract. He has no contract with any like CDL.
Yeah, that's like no really leverage.
That's really the thing.
Back
right?
into
like,
the league.
No, like it's tough to get back in now. It's gonna be really tough to get back in. That's the thing. But I think he might have a chance. But no, like Temp coming over is great, because Temp is too good to be sitting on the bench, right? Temp is one of those players from like a good roster that gets benched and pushed out for probably like the right reasons, and then he should be able to get to play with a team like Paris and prove himself again. I really like this. I really think it's going to be good for Temp, and I really think it's going to be good for Paris. Hopefully it just raises their level a little
I feel like Paris, on guard, what did they call him? Like the something marksman, or I don't know what the hell they were tweeting, bro. They were tweeting some weird shit, bro, but I don't you know what, honestly that was really weird, the shit they tweeted, but fuck it, they're probably happy with their pickup. That's a W move.
I like it. No, I'm a fan of it. But what about another one that I'm not quite sure if I'm a fan of? And I know you're not a fan of it. LAG is getting rid of Vivid.
Literally the epitome of the friend league, bro.
Like, alright, I will say, I do
Unless they pick up Patrick Price, I don't approve of this move.
So here's the thing. Like, if they drop Vivid, the number one reason why people think it's a dumb move is because they look at Vivid's stats and then they look at their stats, right? Vivid is like a completely different player from the 3 players on his team. It's like he's playing a different kind of COD. It's like he's playing a different game mode sometimes, right? You know what I mean? And maybe that just kind of tweaks, like maybe that kind of just tweak things. Maybe like even if he is getting so many engagements, like he's getting more engagements than Simp and Abizi, right? Like it's not like he's it's not like he's just like one of the players who has really great engagements. Like he's a statistical anomaly. He's like an outlier when it comes to how many engagements he's getting in. So like how does LAG dropping him like look from an outsider's perspective? Does it look like they're dropping their best player, or does it look like they're dropping a player who doesn't like fit in their system that they want to make? What do you think about that?
I think that they just it was probably a situation where they sat down, right? And, they were like, well, we're not winning. Like, what do we want to do to change this? And then, the 3 of them that are friends looked at each other and were like, well,
yeah.
I don't want to get dropped. And they're like, fuck it.
Get rid of Vivid?
And then Silly was on Twitter trying to justify, why does everyone think that the fast pace matters more than blah, 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 blah. Like, literally because it's a fast paced game, like Assault can't sit in the back of the map and be 7-7 anymore. Like, that doesn't work. You know?
And clearly this is a team that can be
I honestly, I thought Vivid was their best player, in S&D and in Respawn. I really am confused by this move.
Oh, no. I really did think he was their best player in S&D. But I do understand from, their perspective. But, it does look bad, right? Because they're three friends who have teamed together in the past and really haven't had, a great level of success in the past, 4 years. Or not 4 years. How many years has it been since they won? 3? 3 in total? 3.5? Something like that.
Yeah,
But they obviously have not had that level of success in the past year or two that other players have had, and I think kicking Vivid looks bad, especially if you don't win. But it looks good if you win. Agree. You know what I mean? It looks good if you win. So that's the thing about all these roster changes. They need to actually prove the people who are criticizing them wrong. And Paris will play LAG this weekend, and I think That's LAG's only match, but Paris plays Dallas too. So, but Paris LAG on Saturday, like 2:00 Central Time. That's gonna be a good match because I think it's gonna tell us where both of these teams are and like where they are in relation to each other currently. But what about another one? This one was probably more like this one was kind of just expected, right? Which be the New York Subliners team.
Eventually, Hydra's gonna get into the lineup.
Right.
But isn't Hydra like not even in the lineup now? Isn't like Mac back in the lineup or some shit? Like I'm really so confused.
It's changed a lot. I mean, I guess we won't really know
Frosty,
until Sunday.
Frosty like was on a different team, and then they were supposed to move Hydra up, and then he, it's like what? That's like what even is going on, man?
I'm pretty sure Hydra is scrimming with them. Hydra's gonna be playing with them. I'm just not sure if it's Mac or Diamond Con that's not gonna be on the team anymore, or at least moving forward. Because Mac wasn't on the team, right? And then Mac joined the Western Challengers team. He joined them and then left immediately. He joined with Fire and Sib and it was Fire, Sib, and who else he joined and then left?
Again, I have no fucking.
But he left like the next day. He left like the next day, and then like they had to get a new sub, and like so Mac might be playing, Diamond Con might be playing, but regardless, Hydra's in. So I mean, how do you feel about Hydra? Have you watched him in challenges at all? Because I've watched him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean he is probably a good player. I think if they can just get like hyped or like whatever. I don't think it'd be like bad if they switched him out for Mac. I'm not sure if it'd be better or worse. Like we really don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
But they were trying to get Sib, which was really interesting because I think Sib's probably like a next up guy, right? Like I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement of that.
Right. Sibilance deserves a shot in the league. That's based on pure merit alone.
They were like trying to get him, and then talks like stalled, but they were like aggressively trying to get him. But he's a sub with FaZe, so I have a feeling like that has to do like with why they couldn't get him, because FaZe might now just be like wanting to let go of someone who's that talented.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, FaZe might not want to let go of him, or FaZe might want a like ridiculous amount of money for it. Like, we don't really know how their contract situation works, right? But like, at the same time, I feel like if you have the chance to get Sib, you go for it. And like, people are trying to say that like Sib like blew his shot because he was like acting wild on the flank or something like that. But I'm pretty sure like on the show, like
he's just taking selfies on the balcony.
Well, yeah, well, no, it's more like it's what happened because like they like asked him like if he had like grown since like whatever like a year ago he called like his teammate a like derogatory slur or something like that, right? And so they asked him, like,
said retard.
Yeah, something like that.
I bleep it out, though. I did. Hey, I meant it in like the context that he said it.
Yeah, no, I'm not bleeping that out. We know what you meant. Like, you didn't say some crazy thing.
Like, it was probably like the Mutex. I'm pretty sure it was like the same as the Mutex situation, but like Mutex was like more like, it was kind of like, bro, like, you don't have to like say that much, you know?
That worked out for Mutex though, because now he's like
he's been streaming for like nearly 360 days in a row.
One of like the top 20 like Warzone streamers in terms of
he plays like wagers with the top 4 or 3 guys now.
I'd say it worked out for him, but Siblings.
I mean, and I'd rather be a top 10 Warzone guy than a fucking sub for the Dallas Empire.
Fair, yeah. No, I'd rather be I'd rather make money off Warzone than be a sub.
Yeah.
Be a pro player though. I don't know. I'd rather be a player, like a CDL player, than be a big streamer. I don't know what it is. Something about the competition would just be super entertaining.
Yeah. So I don't really know what they're trying to do. Like, obviously they want to make a change because they don't feel like they're the best they could be. But then at the same time, like, I really do feel like they're capable of like winning even with Mac. So it's like if they just got someone better than Mac, like I think they'd be crazy good.
And they don't play until Sunday too. So. They have some time. They have some time to figure things out.
And they can play a little bit more. Figure it out.
Get into it. Really
only the first week of the stage. So
but what is
interesting though? Did you hear? So Formal said that he doesn't think that people should be allowed to like change their rosters like in the middle of a stage or like the week before. The major. Like, what do you think about that? Because we saw like a lot of roster moves like post, but like we did see a lot of changes like with like LAT like playing with different rosters and.
Mm-hmm. I do agree that like you shouldn't.
Like I think we do need some sort of roster lock. Yeah.
I think there should be a roster lock a month out from champs for sure. a month out from
Yeah,
champs.
no, you should not. Like unless like a guy literally can't play.
Maybe even 2 months out of champs, right? Like at this point, like maybe like after stage 3, there should be a roster lock. That's even like a little bit aggressive in a way. Like maybe you'd say like, oh, after stage 4, make the. Is what that. I'm pretty sure like. Because you get to the 5th stage, you'll have the group stage and the major, and then you'll have Then you'll have champs. So, I'd say maybe after stage 4, and then you have to play the last stage with your champs team.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. I think it's kind of like, I don't agree that you should just completely shut down the rosters like like midweek or like mid stage, like something like that. Like but I do think that a roster that I don't know, it's hard, right? Because like a roster that earns a certain seed at a major should be the team that plays at the major, right?
Yeah.
But you can drop a player and pick up a new player right before the major, and then have them play the major. I don't know. It's a little stupid to me, but like
Good thing that it's not based on pro points then.
Right? Yeah. I mean, the pro point system was like a complete mess, but like at this point,
yeah,
like
bro, remember Doug with the wire on nameless.
Dudes would be waking up, getting their pro points in, and then dipping. That's all it pretty much be. Get their pro points in before they can play like scrims and stuff. I mean, like that's just like a joke. But like I don't know, like locking after stage 4, I think would be a good idea for champs. But I don't really know how you would police a roster lock for the entire stage, like for the entirety of each stage. Like I don't know how you would get the teams to ever agree to that.
Yeah.
Because like these teams,
well, that's like the thing, they probably have like some sort of way that like owners vote on it, or like and it's like
right.
Really hard to pass things in the league.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean like I don't really know what you do. Like you could have the owners vote on it. You have like the teams decide. Like I don't really know. Like who does it benefit? Because obviously like I think it's also like a little bit of salt because didn't Optic get beat by like a team that like. Because hasn't Optic gotten beat by teams in the past that were, like, new rosters? Like, they got beat by Minnesota, like, when they picked up Standy, and then suddenly they were like, I don't know, man, maybe they shouldn't be allowed to, like, you know what I mean? Like, they lose their first seed, they start getting smoked, like, then they're like, well, all these guys changed to their rosters. It's like, I don't know. To me, a little bit of it's, like, I understand it on one level, but I really only think the real, true, like, roster lock should be right after stage 4. Or like before stage 5, you would say like the Wednesday before the Thursday that stage 5 starts, you need to submit a roster lock, like your 4 starting roster, and then 1 sub who's already signed to your team. Obviously, that sub could then fill the role of anyone getting dropped, because it's like, well, imagine if like the week before champs, like the teams like we can't, or like a guy's like my mother's sick, I can't play, like I gotta go home, can't play the major, right? Now this team is faced with an option where they either have to play with their sub for this big tournament, they play with their sub, or they can make an investment and go pick up some guy from Challengers who's been absolutely cracked, you know what I mean? And then suddenly this guy only plays the major. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You can't really have that. You gotta have like you have to have the extra sub, and then you have to have the starting 4. That's how it should be, I think, locked right before the stage 5. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts? I just talked for like an hour on it. I just think that it's like kind of dumb that like, I mean, obviously it's like, how can we think of all these like situations and different like positions that teams might be in to like make a rule? Like, it's like no one thought about this at the beginning of the league. They just were like, here's a tournament format, right. And then obviously there's more legal stuff because of contracts and other things, but you have to like. God damn, bro. Alright, I just played a game of Verdansk and they didn't do shit just to see it get nuked, and it was worth it. It was worth it?
Yeah, it's totally worth it. I'm literally just seeing it fucking blow up right now. Shit got leveled, bro. Low-key, it looked like it didn't get leveled enough, though.
So wait, what happens now? Like, what happens when you load into your next Warzone game? Do you see the same
I'm pretty sure you can only play, like, the Destruction of Verdansk Part 1 till downtime.
Oh, okay. When's downtime start?
I don't know, but
like 2 in the morning or something.
How long it's supposed to be?
Middle of the night.
For like 15 hours or something.
It's a pretty decent amount of downtime.
Yeah, I got a reward for doing that. But
I don't know. Like, I feel like with all these teams that have made changes, like We'll know it when we see it. We'll know if they got better when we see it. It's hard to make a prediction
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now.
it's
I'm not sure how I feel about it, but
nowadays want to they want to tweet got the new squad, we're about to put in the work, and then everyone's gonna reply good shit, bro. And that's it's then they just become complacent and then just blame.
Yep.
Shit,
that's enough for them. But dude, how we lose?
Hey,
We're nasty. We're crap.
Yeah,
how we lose, dude?
Yeah, that shit's dumb. Honestly, my predictions for the first week. Honestly, I got a lot of 3-0s. I'm not gonna lie.
I got a few. I didn't want to go too much. I didn't go too.
Not a lot of matches are actually competitive besides Sunday's FaZe Subliners match, in my opinion, and maybe Ultra Empire. Those last two.
I don't know. I feel like some of these
gonna
be competitive enough. So it depends on what you mean by
I think maybe LA Thieves vs Surge might be competitive.
Yeah, I have that one going to game 5. Yeah.
Surge winning.
Low key, I mean Paris versus LAG. Why can't that be?
I got LAG 3-0, but actually I should probably change that. This is the first time I'm actually gonna change it. I'm gonna go Paris 3-0 just because LAG drops Vivid. They're gonna fucking get railed.
Okay, well let's talk about Dallas versus Paris, which was the first match. I think Dallas is gonna come out with some fire, trying to prove it, but both teams are gonna be trying to prove it. So it's
I think first week of the major or the stage, fuck it. If you're Dallas, you just want to get consistent. You just want to. I feel like they're thinking too far ahead, right? They won champs, and now they're thinking oh, bro, we're just gonna be fine at champs. Don't worry about it.
Always thinking about FaZe. Always thinking about FaZe because they
gotta be playing. I think they should just take it game by game, play in the moment. It's Paris, but you gotta play hard, play disciplined. Make sure you're getting the dubs. Get a good mindset and routine in before going into the next major. Who knows how this the new mechanics will influence their play. Shots you have to figure out a way to break the movement now. So
yeah, I mean I'm sure Shots.
Maybe they'll be the best because Shotsy won't even unveil the new movement till the first match, right? And then people will be like, "What the fuck?" And then
So yeah, I mean maybe XCO will rewrite the rules for the new meta, but I mean if they don't, I still think Dallas can win this game just based off of their pure skill. I mean, I don't know, you throw a whole new team together and then have them play Dallas, who are usually pretty fundamentally sound. It's not gonna be easy for them, but I do think Paris will take a map. I think it'll be a 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, and then the next match, Ultra versus Florida. I got Ultra 3-0.
Me too.
I don't really think we're gonna see much from Florida in that series,
maybe
I hope Vance keeps it up.
Maybe it's a honeymoon period, but even then, I don't know. The way Toronto was playing last Sunday, if they could, or not last Sunday, the Sunday before that, they find any kind of fire like that, who beats them? Nobody. So I don't know. Maybe they could continue that. It'll be huge for Ultra because they play Florida and then Dallas, and they got a 2-day break there, so it could be good for them to get the ball rolling with a good 3-0. They can be really confident going into that Dallas rematch. So it'll be fun to see. But yeah, I got the 3-0 too. What about LA Thieves versus Surge on Friday?
Which one? I have 3-2 Surge over LA Thieves.
Ooh,
I think it's gonna go down to the wire. But I have a good feeling about the Surge and Octane in this next meta.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I don't think the meta will be too different, right? Overall, aren't they gonna play on the old patch tomorrow or this weekend at least? I think, right? They're gonna play on the old patch?
It's I don't know because it's then do they play on the patch for the entire
do they play
stage? I don't know.
Maybe they'll probably have some meetings about it, but I don't know. I got LA Thieves pulling out in the 3-2. I mean, when you go to a game 5 at that point, most of the time it's a coin flip, right? So I think LA Thieves winning a 3-2 series would be pretty apt. Surge is good. It's just it's really is a coin flip series, and Octane's been tweeting that things have been coin flip series this entire year. So there's nobody.
He's just mad when they lost and just wanted to justify it somehow. It's fine though.
Man, but we're so cracked. How do we lose?
Optic 3-0 London.
No funny business there. I feel like Optic will be out the free or something. Get a little nice
Paris 3-0 LAG. I ain't even entertaining that.
We didn't even talk about London's change. We didn't even talk about Dylan Codd being dropped for dropped.
For Zap?
Yeah.
You know how? Hey, now that you've reminded me about that, which I already did know that, but we didn't even talk about it because they're out of the money and they're probably gonna stay out of money. So now that this new information has been presented, right? Optic 3-0.
I do have to agree.
That's what I have to say about that. about
Savius is a great player who brings a lot to the team. Optic 3-0. Okay. Paris versus LAG on Saturday, which might be the most exciting matchup for me of the whole weekend. Probably, yeah. I think that's the most exciting matchup for me the whole weekend. Because Paris, I mean, like, it's two teams with a new player, both trying to get out of the money. Like, it's just gonna be a bloodbath. Like, it's so important who wins this match. Sometimes I think it's more fun to watch a match where like it matters way more about like the team that wins than it actually matters about the team that loses. Do you know what I mean? Like when a team has to win to get something, it's like when two teams like it's all about the winner. It's like that's hype. But like when it's like an upset or something like that, and then suddenly the winner is like, or suddenly the losers, like everyone's just talking about how the loser lost. They're not actually talking about like the winner. Or like they want to talk about the teams that get into slumps, but not about the teams that kind of climb out of their own slumps. Like Paris winning this series would be massive for them. I just can't imagine the confidence boost it would be for either of these teams in order to win this game. I don't know. Like I feel like Paris will definitely need to win this game because if they lose to Dallas, which I think they will, they need to win this game. Like it's not even a question. If they lose this game, like they can just kiss the points goodbye. They can maybe kiss champs goodbye because like I don't see how you bounce back from starting 0-2 in the group like this with having already played LAG. It's just like how. I mean, I don't know how you do that.
London honestly may just be chalked.
London at this point, yeah. Like London at this point might already be like kind of chalked.
It's like how many challengers players from the West Coast can you add? You know, like
at this point,
so far ahead, like even dropping. Hey, think about it. Like even like think about like every 10 points that every match is worth, right? Like even that series like where they like choked against like LAT and shit, like.
Yeah, and I mean like,
like really just blowing like every opportunity you have. Like you can't play like
currently that. Are because like
dude,
right
this
now
game is ass now. Holy shit, you actually cannot slide cancel.
Well, no,
my God, dude, this is actually bad.
What's screwed though is 8. So 7 through or like so FaZe have 225 CDL points. They are fine, right? The next most is Dallas at 180, and then you have Optic, New York both at 140, and then you have Ultra at 125, Thieves and Rocker at 110, and then the drop goes down to 70. And then it's LAG in the last. LAG is in the last champ spot, right, at 70. And then Florida has 60. That's very
subject to change.
Yep. Florida has 60. Paris has 50. Seattle has 50. London has 30. So you need to make up, essentially, of those 5 teams, only one of them is going to make it to champs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Minnesota or LA start to choke or something like that. But even then, like, I don't know. Like, that's just so many points to bring up. One of these teams is going to have to get placed top 3 at a major with a good record in their group, or they're kind of just gone to the wind. So,
okay, so I'm going to do a live reaction of how I feel about this right now. Loki feels like when you're running with a sub, you have, like, glue on your shoes.
Okay.
And if you slide, like, it literally feels like it's taking forever now to get back up. But, I don't know, it might be decent. I don't know. If I start frying, then I'll like it.
Fair. But, no. I mean, if you're playing fine, then it's all good. But if you're playing bad, then the game sucks.
Well, I'm just in a pub right now, so I don't know for sure. But moving in.
We gotta hit the league play later.
Rocker versus Mutineers. Rocker 3-0. I'm not gonna entertain that Mutineers talk. I'm holding it down from my boy Slack.
I'll give the Mutineers the map, man. I'll give it to them somewhere. You know, Minnesota. They're still not the perfect team. I'll give them like the opening hard point or something like that.
And then the next match, the marquee match, I really hope Scump is the marquee man of the match or whatever it is. I picked Optic 3-1, but I gave Surge a map. I felt kind of nice.
Have you ever had the Mountain Dew Rise?
The Rise?
It's like an energy drink that Mountain Dew does. It's not game
fuel.
Like
the coffee one?
It's just called Rise, yeah. There's no... Do you mean like it's like their thing that like replaces coffee? Not like coffee flavored, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say some coffee flavored Mountain Dew would be kind of...
Oh, that'd be terrible.
No, I don't even drink soda anymore, and like that stuff's not soda because there's no high fructose corn syrup. So I was chugging that. I was chugging one yesterday. Kind of want to go back to 7-Eleven today, but anyways, the Game Fuel marquee matchup. Yeah, I got Optic in a 3-1. I mean, like, I think it'll be fun to watch Optic and Seattle play to each other. I like this matchup just in terms of personality.
They had a good match during the major.
Yeah, and it was a banger of a match. So I mean, let's move on though. LA Thieves versus London Royal Ravens. I'm gonna take the LA Thieves in a tight series.
Well,
3-2.
I got the 3 out. I don't give a shit.
You don't even.
London's
You're so
bad.
chalked on London at this point that I don't even like. If they're about to play, I feel like you're about to turn off the match.
Dude, I mean that's how it's getting. Like, not everyone making it to champs. Like, bro. Like, yeah, low-key, just hit me that, like, low-key, like, if you don't stand a chance, like, what the fuck are the point of your matches?
That's why I'm saying,
unless
like,
unless you get, like, an insane amount of points from winning a major, there's literally, like, no point.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
besides catching a fucking paycheck, like, what the fuck would the point be? If you go to stage 5 and there's absolutely no way, right?
Well, there's still some merit. I mean, there's still some merit in playing the best of your abilities. And none of these guys,
obviously, but like, all right, no, I'm talking about, like, from an integrity point, though. Like, obviously, they're gonna play their hardest and like play for like the franchise, like that's their job.
What happens when like
to do that? Like what happens as a fan? Like I'm supposed to like
Well, what happens
be excited about that? Like I can't wait for Paris and Florida to play their group stage match in stage 5, dude. Like,
well, that's the thing about American sports is that even in American sports, like everyone just starts talking about how you're tanking for the next big guy. You know, there's always hope on the horizon.
But they are.
But with this, like, there's not really any like hope on the radar if you're a fan of one of these teams. Like if you're a fan of London, dude, like, bro, just go watch like Vic Star's like Warzone streams or something like that. I don't even know if the dude plays the game anymore, bro. But like at that point, like if you want to cheer for some London Royal Ravens, like.
But think about it this way. All right, the power balance is like never gonna shift towards like the teams that like aren't at the top, right? Like that's just never how it's like.
Right, because there's never gonna be a draft.
Right, it's possible, but possible doesn't mean probable, right? Like, it's possible that, like, London just gets a player that literally becomes the best of all time, right? How probable is that of, like, London just finding some rando like that? Like, very improbable, right? So it's like, what are they supposed to do? Like,
right, and which is why I'm like, this is why I'm partially anti-expansion, because you're just gonna have 4 dog water teams.
Yeah, right. No, there's still one winner. That doesn't change that, like. That just means there's more teams that aren't winning. Like, you can't expand. Like, you need to expand once, like, everyone has, like, a little bit of history to themselves.
Like, cash, too.
Once we get, like, a Hall of Fame going, like, it's definitely not. People just want expansion because they're like, oh, these players deserve a shot. Like, what, a shot to get fucked on by FaZe?
No, I do think, like, down the road, like, 16 teams would be, like, a good cap for it.
Yeah, but like, first they'd have to make sure that like all of them get separate, like they'd have to wait till it's like
my big thing,
like the fact that Formal and Scum can like be on a team together, like that's 2 max contracts, right? Like no way they'd be able to afford Dashy if there was like some sort of like salary cap in place or anything like that.
Salary cap,
like
that's
integrity salary cap.
A salary cap, that's interesting. But what would happen if they? I mean, I'm getting a little crazy here, and we don't have much time left. But what if they just blew up the entire league? And then got 4 new teams, and then did a draft. Fuck it, man. Well, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? It would be entertaining. It's kind of like the Super League. You don't want to see it happen, but it would be entertaining.
It would be entertaining if that didn't mean that Optic had to give up their 4 players and that like T2P, those players weren't attached to their brand.
Bro. They'd pull some shit and
trade.
They pull, Optic. You know Hex would pull some shit so he could get the 1st and 2nd pick and take Scump and Formal.
Low key, bro. He'd literally trade like he'd be like, "Yeah, I'll trade these picks." Like,
he'd do that.
Like, shit. I need them. He would tell everyone, "I'm picking them." Like, give me the picks. Like, I'm picking them. Like, you guys can have whoever you want if they're better than Scump or Formal. You guys can have Celium, those motherfuckers. I just want them.
I mean that's kind of funny, but like at the same time, like I don't know, like. I feel like if you expanded the league this offseason, the only positive would be that some players who are very good will get the chance to make a living off. That's the only positive. Other than that, like more teams, it's like.
Well, like it's funny though because like, if they're not winning in challengers, but they think they should be in the league, like bro, you're literally gonna see less success. In
a 16-team tournament too would be perfect because you could just have 4 things of like group stage and then go into a double elimination tournament.
Yeah, 4 groups
and just run it through. You know what I mean? Like you can do that so easily, and that would make it so much better for the format.
I like that because then you get like the ultra story. You know, you get like the team that like just randomly goes off in groups and makes a run. You know, like there's more possibilities with like group.
Yeah, no, I mean like.
Right, but
it's
last
crazy,
2 matches, FaZe subliners. I got a 3-2 FaZe.
I got the 3-1. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about FaZe.
Ultra versus Empire. I got Ultra 3-2.
Nice. I got Empire 3-2. I mean, I think Empire will bounce back. I mean, it's a coin flip. Anything can happen once you get to that 5th map.
Yo, last night Big Sean took an L, but tonight he's gonna bounce back.
Is he? That's good. That's good. Well, what else did he do and then bounce back? I feel there's more on that song. I feel like he did a lot of things, but then bounced back.
But tonight I bounced back.
I respect him, man.
He wakes up in the morning and he counts stacks or something.
That's right.
Oh, and he knew the ass was real because it bounced back. It's funny as hell.
Yeah. Anyway.
When he hit it, bounce back, bro.
That's true.
All right.
But
that's really the closing statement.
He hit it. It bounced back. So thank you everybody for listening. Enjoy a good weekend of pod.
But before we go, I just want to say, hopefully Warzone will be good. Hopefully they revert the speed grip nerf. I don't know who the fuck was smoking crack when they did that. Dude, 420 update. They literally just smoked dope, and we're like, how can we fuck the game up?
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Some Activision exec gets up. Dude. What if we made the submachine guns slower than the ARs, man? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Imagine if the speed grip on the SMG actually made it slower. Bro, it literally is a pointless attachment now. Low key, I'm pretty sure if you use just the regular grip, you'd be better. But that's all I gotta say. That's actually all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that's it. All right, you guys take care. Have a good weekend. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Peace.